So, Mike Beasley here with another great UpdateKit update. This is a new version of the previous localization feature that I released, I think, in UpdateKit 3.0. I don't remember exactly when that came out. Um, but this is a feature that will now allow anyone to download and install a language file for any language they want. They can be created by anyone, and you don't have to wait until UpdateKit supports your language. You can actually go ahead and create an UpdateKit translation and install it on your phone and share it with people, and they can use it. I think it's a really cool feature that's gonna, I hope, allow people to more rapidly translate this into their language and then share those files with people so that they don't have to wait on me. Previously, I was using something called TranslateKit that I made and distributed to my selected translators, and that created a JSON file and sent me the file, and then I had to copy and paste strings out of the file into a dictionary in the Shortcuts app, and then I had to go in and replace all the variables with actual variables. There would be variables in the text that they would just put in brackets, and I would have to go and delete those out and then add in magic variables and stuff. And so it was kind of a nightmare to do that. And with all the languages that are supported right now, you can imagine I've had to do that quite a lot. So hopefully this will cut down on all of that and just let people translate and share the translations as they see fit. So I'm going to go ahead and run UpdateKit 4.0. Now I've set the version number to 2.1 for this demo so that updates will show up and you can actually see what it looks like in action. But basically there's two new buttons at the top. Create translation used to be contribute translation, and it was at the bottom, and now it's just up at the top, and it's called create translation. It used to be an alert, now it's a menu. It generally says the same thing, but now there's a back button. The new button is this one at the top with the three dots. And if you tap on this, you're going to be shown the option to install a language from a file or download from a URL. And I'll show how both of those work in a second here. There's also a note that says basically if UpdateKit gets updated in the future and there's a new text string added to the shortcut that is not in whatever third-party language file you're using, it's going to be blank, and it says you can reset back to English and you'll see all the text. I am not including the ability to automatically update translation files. There is just no way I'm going to build that out. It would be like building UpdateKit again inside of UpdateKit, and that is just not necessary. I think that if people really, really want to keep up with updates to their translation files, if that's ever even necessary, I think UpdateKit is fairly feature complete at this point. I don't foresee adding too many new text strings to it. But if it happens, that's the deal. If you care about whether your translation file has been updated, just talk to the creator of it if you find that there's a problem with it. All right, so I exited there. I meant to go back. So I'm going to go ahead and actually pick one of these. These are all the same existing translations that have already been here. Portuguese for Portugal is new. I got that I think this week. Today is Sunday, so last week I think I got it. And I've just kind of been sitting on it to get it into this update. But all the rest of them are the ones you've already seen in previous updates, and I won't be adding any new ones to this list. This list is going to be complete unless there's like a really, really popular language that gets added. And then maybe I'll add one in an update at some point. But for the most part, the idea here is that translations will no longer require an UpdateKit update every time there's a new language supported. So what's going to happen is when you tap on one of these, I'm going to go with Spanish here, you're going to see this new confirmation pop up, which I was going to do anyway. I actually built this the other day, and I had not considered installable translation files at that point, but I was just thinking it'd be nice if I confirmed the language before I just threw them into UpdateKit in the wrong language. So if you thumb down, you're going to be taken back to the beginning and you're going to get to pick your language again. So I'm going to pick Spanish again and then give it a thumbs up, and then you're going to see the same pop-up about how to reset your language, and then it's going to run, and it's in Spanish. But what's different here is that UpdateKit does not contain the Spanish strings for anything at all. These were pulled from the internet. It's the same translation, but I saved it as a JSON file. I put it on GitHub. And UpdateKit, when you select your language, now downloads that language from my GitHub repository for all of the built-in languages, all of these. It downloads the file and saves it to your phone. And let me pick another one here and I'll show you. We'll go with French. Give it a thumbs up. It just saved it. I'm going to switch. Get out of this. I'm going to switch over to files and you're going to see this new language file. This contains all of the strings localized. All right. If I go back over here and I reset it, and I download it, and then I pick a different language, and I hit thumbs up, it downloads and installs that language, and then you can see that the language has now changed. This file is where it's going to pull those translated strings from for every language except English. English is still built in, but everything else it can download from the web and store on your phone. So you do not have to download these from GitHub every single time. It's not downloading the translation from GitHub every time. Now that would alleviate the problem of not having the latest strings for these languages, but that to me seems like a bad idea. If there's demand for it, I may add it as a setting in the future where you can just download the file from the web every single time. Obviously that wouldn't work for a file that you downloaded and installed via iCloud, but it might. I might be able to actually make that work, and that would allow people to get automatic updates, but I don't think that having people download the file every single time UpdateKit runs is necessary because, like I said, I don't foresee adding too many new strings into the shortcut. So the way you can add your own language, I'm going to go ahead and use my reset shortcut here to delete those files. All right, if you tap on the three dots and you hit install from file, I have this Arabic file here, which is not a JSON file. It's actually a text file. You'll recall the Files app does not show file extensions. So that .json isn't the file extension. .text actually is. GitHub downloaded it to my computer that way and I threw it in iCloud Drive without realizing. But it turns out as long as the text file contains JSON, and it's properly formatted, it will read it as a dictionary and it'll be fine. I realized this after I did all of that because I used to store JSON in a text file instead of a JSON file in shortcuts and use that for settings. So this will work. If you have a .text file with valid JSON, you're good to go. It doesn't have to have the JSON extension. So I'm going to tap on Arabic.json. And then you'll see now it has already pulled the translated name Arabic from that file. That is actually taken from the file. It's not like when you tap it in the menu, you think, okay, it's just pulling the name from the menu. No, it's actually pulling from the file that was downloaded. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and you're going to see that now everything is running in Arabic from the file that I just opened through iCloud Drive. And again, if I come over here, you'll see that it has copied into the language file in the UpdateKit folder of iCloud Drive. And that means you can actually delete that Arabic.json file and it will not lose any of your strings. So you don't have to store that file in that location forever. I actually create a copy of it and save it in the right location to save you that headache. So I'm going to reset this again, and then I'm going to do one more. I'm going to install from a URL. Now, to install from a URL, you have to link directly to the actual JSON content. So I'm going to go ahead and take Chinese here. And you actually have to link to the raw file. If you link to this page, it's going to get this HTML file, and it's going to not have what it needs. So click on raw. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it with iCloud clipboard, and I'm going to hit OK. It downloads the file. You can see it pulled the name from the file. I'm going to hit thumbs up. It saves the file. And if I switch over here, you'll now see that the language file is updated to Chinese. On GitHub, there are instructions for creating a language file. It's fairly simple. You just have to specify the English version of the name, the localized name to display to people who actually speak that language, and then there are some strings that you'll just translate. There are a couple of variables that you'll insert like this with double curly braces, and and then you're good to go. The shortcut will automatically take these variables at runtime and convert them to actual shortcuts variables using find and replace text to replace that token with the text of the variable in question. So that's that's how it works. That's user installable translations in UpdateKit 4.0. I think it's probably going to come out tonight. I'm going to maybe look at one or two more little fixes or tweaks for it, and then it should be all set. But look for that very soon.